Hello, I'm meteorologist Ted Keller, and here's today's severe weather outlooks. Today is certainly the worst day of the next week or so, where we still have this enhanced risk of severe weather right through the heart of Pennsylvania and Northern Virginia, all of Maryland, Delaware, all of New Jersey too, even back over into Ohio. That's the level 3, which is the enhanced, right in the middle of what the SPC's scales come out to be from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. And then this level 2 of yellow covers a lot of ground too. That's what used to be referred to as the slight risk still is. And yeah, a lot of severe weather in connection with this jet stream pattern that's sending a cool front into the northeast. The severe weather yesterday was in Wisconsin and Iowa, and now it's shifted to this area. So let's break it down by severe weather type. On the tornado side of things, the SPC did not have a categorical outlook issued as of this morning, meaning they didn't really assign tornado intensity percentages to this, but they did just talk about tornado risk in general. So 5% chance of any strength tornado within 25 miles of a point. Everywhere on here you see brown, which includes Pittsburgh, PA, Philadelphia, New York City, Washington, Baltimore, down to Virginia Beach, just about including Richmond too, and even back into the Ohio River Valley here, Cincinnati, maybe Louisville, Huntington, certainly included in that as well. So that's the tornado risk side of things. The wind risk side of things, which usually picks up in the summertime, and that's certainly the case here, 45% chance of a severe wind gust within that purple area, which covers a lot of the same ground as the 5% tornado risk. And then, of course, 30% surrounding that in red and 15%. So anything, I always report 15% areas as being significant enough. So when it gets up to 45%, you should take notice in those areas, certainly. And there is some hail risk, but not as intense. 15% chance of a severe hailstone, which is defined as a 1-inch hailstone or larger in that area there that spreads from almost all of Pennsylvania right back to Evansville, Indiana. Let's take a look at the NATOcast product. So on the tornado part of NATOcast, we have a 10% risk of a tornado right around New York City, up into even parts of Connecticut, and certainly just about all of New Jersey, a little sliver of Pennsylvania too, and another little maximum area of 5% down here along the Kentucky and Ohio side and the Indiana side of the Ohio River there, and even into parts of West Virginia as well. They do issue hail and wind products too, NATOcast, and the wind product is equally a little bit concerning there because this is a 60% probability on the darkest purple in that corridor right there, literally the corridor in the northeast, and a little bit significant severe there with a chance for a 65, a hurricane force wind, 10% there in some of those little hatched areas. They're right around the nation's capital, parts of Maryland. And then Colorado State University has their multi-panel product. They have a kind of a broad 5% tornado risk in that general area here. Again, hail, pretty much a no-show, but the wind risk, again, from Philadelphia down through the heart of Virginia and even back into parts of Kentucky. And then one more day of this before we can take a break here. This risk just kind of stretches out. You can see just a marginal risk all through most of New England anyway, Boston included in that, New York City. But then we get a little more concentrated down here from Richmond, Virginia, down to Raleigh, basically, and over to Winston-Salem and over to Virginia Beach, all in that kind of quadrant there, a level 2 out of 5 severe weather risk, with tornado being a 2% risk in that general area. And again, the wind risk 15% in that general area. And there probably would be some room to upgrade maybe a little bit of this tomorrow when the confidence increases. But generally, it doesn't look as bad tomorrow as today's severe weather north of here, of course. On CSU's product, a little bit of a tornado risk indicated there in parts of Virginia and North Carolina. On Wednesday, hail, no-show, wind, about that same area as a tornado risk, and pretty coincident with the slight area that I just showed you from the SPC. Then, really, I don't see much probability-wise Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There might be a little bit of severe weather on, let's say, Oklahoma, that area, north, it would be south and west of a rain area that is forecast to develop. But no real resolution on that yet, so I'm not going to put it up. But I will put up Sundays because there is enough of a 15% chance to at least talk about there from Chicago, northern Illinois, down to the Ohio River, Indiana. That's Sunday. Actually, this starts as a very little tiny area the day before that on Saturday in the Dakotas, but I just didn't see enough confidence in that one And then on Monday, this kind of spreads from Illinois on over into the North Carolina and Virginia area. And again, then, you can look at those last two graphics, this one and the last one, as maybe possible areas where the SPC could begin to talk about it, because this is the criteria they would use. A 15% chance is the minimum they would look at for them to put anything on this panel over here. Then, of course, we have week one of the Supercell Composite Index, rating very high in Iowa and Minnesota. You can see those areas there still being accounted for today and tomorrow. This is actually in association with Bertha. But you're probably wondering about that. I don't see, at least not yet anyway, a real organized severe weather threat, and neither does the SPC with regard to Bertha. That may change tomorrow. I anticipate they would put a marginal risk of severe weather down there for tomorrow. And then week two, Iowa, Minnesota, including Minneapolis, up into Canada. Supercell Composite pretty high. Week two are the dates right here, July 28th through August 3rd. And then solidly into August, the 4th through the 10th, we switched to the high plains, basically, the front range of the Rockies, for our severe weather risk from Kansas back up to Montana.